Speaking of another small forward who I guess didn't fit the Team USA roster, or maybe they thought he would go on a podcast and talk about why he did or didn't make it. We got to spin the block on some of these Paul George conversations. Damo and I had a conversation based off of people's comments and just the general atmosphere of what happened after Paul George released that clip. I know a lot of people were defending Paul George, saying that we were wrong in the conversation, but a lot has come out since then, and we kind of want to talk about it and just, you know, how the Clippers organization is just doomed based off of just this show, this parade. Oh, here it goes. So first, before we address the stuff that was said in the comments, the LA Clippers were surprised by Paul George's outlandish contract demands, given his previous comments about his lesser role and responsibilities on court. Paul George did an interview and stated that Kawhi is the number one. I'm the number two, he said verbally. We can tell, look at their game. We can tell their numbers, whose numbers are better. We can see who's number one and who's number two. The Clippers he believed that, and they tried to use that in their contract negotiations. And I think the Clippers were caught by surprise, too, when they found out Paul was trying to get what Kawhi got and then trying to get even more than Kawhi got with the fourth year. This is also followed up by a story, again, how the Clippers have also demonstrated their loyalty to Paul George and just loved him. This is about the bubble, if I'm not mistaken. This is Montrezl Harrell iteration of the Clippers. Montrez, I get back, we're basically in the playoffs. Fast forward, and we're in the middle of a game versus Denver. We set up a play. Everybody says they're switching 1 through 5 type shit. Everybody knows the coverage. Then in the game, situation comes. It's in the pick and roll with PG, Jamal, Murray, Jokic, and me. Screen comes. I yell, switch. We switch it. He still fights over the screen. Jokic slips down the middle of the lane, boom, shoots it and gets the point. Doc calls a timeout just like that. On the way over to the huddle, I said, bro, that's a switch, P. He's like, no, I thought. And I'm like, bro, ain't no I thought. I said it's a switch, bro. Everybody in the shit knows the coverage but you. He was like, hey, who are you talking to? He says, all right, with that in mind, I told P right then and there, in front of coaches and everybody, I will knock you the fuck out.
Oh wow. Okay.
Bro, you're tripping. You was wrong. Bro, you're wrong. I can look back on that now and realize I went too far in the heat of the moment. I realized this is a business and can't talk like that to a star player.
I was tripping.
But when they're going through grief and you only see what's in front of you, and it was just a bad call from there. We lost in the second round to Denver in 7 games. The next summer, the Clippers sent me a text message saying, like, thank you for everything you did for us, but we're going to go in a different direction.
Damn. A text? Damn, like
That's
you, gang.
crazy. Yeah, they didn't even invite your ass to the front office. Not one last. Damn. Not even like a scam contract. Dang.
This
They didn't even call you?
No, they didn't call. This comes off the heels of like the conversation that we had about Paul George. I'm pretty sure everybody's been seeing him get cooked. I want Damo to address specifically first the whole conversation about people saying, well, you know, Blake Griffin, he got shafted by the Clippers, you know, so Paul George had to get a no trade clause. He had to.
Especially after the space we had today talking about this. Even I was 10 toes. I wish I had one more foot so I could be 15 toes down on me talking about Super Tobias Harris. He re-upped with the Clippers while being a Clipper already.
2020,
he signs a contract. Do y'all think he put a no trade clause in that contract? No, he didn't. If it's about security, and I don't want to steal Omar's talking point, but if it's about security, you would have had a no trade clause when you re-up with them in 2020. Blake Griffin got shafted in what? 2018, 2017, 2018, 2019? He got shafted before you got there. When you re-up, you already knew how this organization treated their star players. So if security is on the mind, you would have been asked for a no trade clause. Hell, if you were so worried about security, you wouldn't have asked them to give you exactly what Kawhi got. You would have asked them for a no trade clause from the beginning. The fact that he went from 2 for $60, which we can all say, hey, that's not fair to P. Cool. Eventually, they give him what Kawhi gets, and he turns that down. Now, at no point in his explanation did he discuss outside of him, and again, I was the one to acknowledge this the first time we talked about this. Outside of him acknowledging he had a healthy regular season and was the most efficient season he's had, at no point did he address a change of feeling about wanting what Kawhi got. His explanation was, I want what Kawhi got. So when given the opportunity to sign the contract that Kawhi got, you asked for more. Yes, a no trade clause, which I didn't know only 10 players in the history of the NBA got. I didn't even know that.
Including Luke Cornett? Oh my God.
Big Luke.
The Cornett contest, baby. I didn't know that little people only got no trade clauses. And you asked for one. Kawhi doesn't even have one. So the no trade clause itself is asking for more than Kawhi, which if you announce that he's the one and you're the two, really you're the four, but you're the two. If the Clippers organized this and operated this like he's the one and you're the two, where was the change in heart of wanting what Kawhi got is my question. Because people tried to cook in the comments. I just want the facts. And before anybody tells me, because we had a Clipper fan up there, shout out Tom, oh, but when playoff time comes, he's there, Kawhi is not. That's fine. I didn't know Paul George was just a role player, because the last time I checked, and y'all can fact check me, the only players that get a pay bump for playoff performances, finals performances, are role players. Star players are paid based off of their regular season accolades and what they bring in terms of the incentives. When they're negotiating contracts, their incentives are not playoff based. There are no playoff incentives in niggas' contracts. When they sign these 4-year, 4 for 212, but it could be 259, when incentives, if he makes 3 first teams or 3 all teams and a defensive team and all-star and this, that, all that is regular season stuff. So star players are paid based off the regular season, not the playoffs. You got it, Omar.
No, the only thing that I have, and this can open up the Florida conversation, but there's also some more clips about how trash this situation has been. A lot of people talked about the health of Kawhi Leonard and stuff like that, and that's the reason why there's a difference. 34 or 36 is the difference between the regular season games played between Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and their tenure in Los Angeles. If you allow other people to talk about it, they'll act as if it's 105, right? It's not. 10 is the difference in playoff games between Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. If you ask people about it, they act like it's 40 billion. And then another thing is, and this is from what I understand to be Kawhi Leonard's contract, Kawhi Leonard has a baked-in false but real no-trade clause where essentially the Clippers have to pay him like $10 million or $15 million.
Is it a trade kicker?
Something like that. They have to pay out that, which de-incentivizes. So there's another way to go about it without the almighty trade clause. Sure, they could still trade you, but it's also 2024, gang. People trade you where you wanted to go. And based off of your little track record, you've been getting the places that you want to go after the trade, or when it's time to trade. You got a chance to go to OKC. You got a chance to go to LA when you wanted to, and now you're getting a chance to go to Philadelphia, but you signed in free agency. We're not the only ones disgruntled, though, because Brandon Jennings and Rashard McCants murked him.
I'll take that money right there. But throw this in. But no trade clause. That's a no? Okay. Then give me 4-year 212. And you can trade me wherever you want.
And that's a no, because that wasn't on the table to begin with.
Okay,
so you're changing the terms based on you asking to get what Kawhi got.
Yeah, that's 3 years.
And then you want something that he didn't get.
Yes.
No.
Or go give me just my 4 years.
Or you can take your ass to Philly.
Right.
Okay, so I took
Goodbye.
212.
They was cool with that.
Yes, and we're cool with that.
Because
Goodbye.
they didn't want to give him that based on the terms of him asking, give me what Kawhi got.
Yeah. No, give me what Kawhi got, but I want no trade clause.
And that's different. That's a whole different contract.
Okay, well, go get your
Right, yeah, so you can't say the organization ain't loyal and all this other shit when you say, this, I want this, or give me this, and they say, we can't give you this, and we're not gonna give you this. So now you have to say, well, somebody else is gonna give me that over here.
Then I'm
gonna go over here, but I no longer.
They were banking on that he was gonna just stay home. It didn't work.
Take the same deal Kawhi got. That's what we was banking on, because that's what you
They
asked
thought it was
for.
a slap in the face, the fact that he even asked for that. That's what it was. Then you want to ask me for 212. Man, go on.
Remember what he said? They
I'm
started
telling you, it was a slap in the
negotiations
face.
for the 2-year.
2 for 60.
2 for 60.
That's
He's
30
like, yo,
million.
you slapping me in the face right now. Right?
And that was coming off of 2023. He didn't play in the playoffs.
Numbers game type shit.
Missed a
right?
bunch of
So
games
then
towards
he
the end of the
gets to 50 a year, 3-year 50, 150.
Yeah.
All right, now we talking. I feel good now. Okay, this is like the Kawhi deal. Give me the same deal and we good, but throw this in there. Nah, fuck that. We done came too far already. We started here at fucking 2-year 60, nigga. We at 3-year 150. You want more?
Bro, listen, he got his money, congratulations. But that no trade clause stuff for some of these players, they got to stop asking for that.
So, Brandon, to your point, according to The Athletic, only 10 NBA players
They gave Bradley Beal
had a true no trade clause. I'll read those.
They gave Bradley no trade?
Yes. So Bill's the last one. But
wow.
You got David.
Like,
He's out of there after this. After this season,
this
he's
is what
out
I'm
of there.
saying. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm and as an owner, that's a slap in the face. You want me to give you a no trade clause
After
but you ain't
that?
doing shit.
After that? Hell no. Hell no. What did he get? 280?
So
He got 280 something?
So you basically you guys are saying if you was the player, you wouldn't even ask for it.
If I'm not like that, if I'm not a superstar like that, shit. If I ain't like that, I know everybody in the NBA know their status.
Yeah, that's
like
Brad got 5 for 2
you're doing a whole lot. You're doing a whole lot.
I mean, that's a good point. It does feel like PG still think he's better than what like everyone else thinks he is, though. Now, is he right in feeling that I'm PG, I'm him? So,
I mean, he still feel that way. I mean, if that's what keeps him playing at this level, where you got to compete against the top 450 players every night, and top 450 players in the world, America, whatever you want to say, every night. You got to have that mindset that, hey, I'm the best nigga on the court. I can feel that. I can understand that competitive edge. I still can judge you and call you Super Tobias Harris.
For me, and I said this originally, and you guys used some of the points I had as like a silly argument thing. But let me elaborate on where I personally stand. I agree with you all that Paul George's departure and the reasons why he left are kind of head scratchy to me. I even said initially the idea of like this lack of loyalty or anything is kind of crazy to me. When they basically giving you everything. Now, the only thing that you got cooked for is that Kawhi hasn't been there for you in the postseason. And I'll even go as far as to say I don't like the playoff game metric of only being down 10 games because Kawhi's missed some big time games. But I will say for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that I think it's kind of like not completely nasty, but it's like, all right, Paul, like this franchise of all the franchises you've been with, the Los Angeles Clippers haven't been loyal to you. Even when you've come out in 4K said that you are the number 2, they, as you admitted, they treated you like the number 1. So, and then they literally do give you the offer. What I really want to die on this hill, and this was almost my hot take of the week today. And I don't know if we're really doing that or not, but that's the point. I do think a no trade clause is something that a lot of these, whether it's next gen fans or just NBA fans in general, just don't understand how like a big fucking deal that shit is, bro. Like I was like, people were saying I was crashing out over LeBron getting his. No, I wouldn't call it crashing out, but I was damn well upset that a lot of people were acting like it's not a big deal. A no trade clause, get off of 2K. A no trade clause is essentially an asset that you have for whatever reason, could be disgruntled, falling off, age, whatever the case may be. You have this asset, but now that asset controls what you do with it. Like that is very fucking wild. So that's not just like some random LOL kicker to add into a deal. If you ask for something, someone provides you with that exact same thing. To then ask for such a thing like an NTC is crazy. Now, if they didn't want to pay the man the 212, they felt it was out of disrespect, fine. As I originally said, I think this whole thing fell apart because of disrespect. I think Paul George is still mad about 2 years 60, personally. So I think this was just a mutual departing. But ultimately, I just don't like why Paul George has explained why he left. I don't have a problem with him leaving. I really don't. But I don't like the oh man, they wasn't loyal type of thing that he's kind of pushing.
Let me say this, but you know what's interesting, because I know the reason why he said it the way he said it, and I see that it is working. People keep forgetting when he said 2 years, 60, he kept saying, like, then we ended up somewhere 45 plus, 46. What he was referring to was 2 years, 90, which is like almost 2 years, 90, 95 or whatever, which is almost 2 years, 100. Like, it's not that far off. But the way that he phrased it was intentional because he kind of wanted to sweep that under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
It's a facade. I want to read these off real quick and then ask Sage a question based off of something Damo said. The 10 players, because Josiah didn't get to name the 10 players. 10 players in history to get the no trade clause. This is in 2023. David Robinson, John Stockton, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. Is Paul George in any of these categories?
Respectfully, hell no.
Okay.
At this point in his career, hell no.
Actually, not at this point.
Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Bradley Beal.
Same response, except for Bradley Beal, maybe Carmelo Anthony. However, as Bezos mentioned, at this point in his career, he's not as valuable as Carmelo Anthony was to his team. I'm not saying he's better than Prime Melo or worse than Prime Melo. That's not the argument. And then Bradley Beal is the obvious outlier here.
So my real question is, because Damo brought it up, superstars get paid based off of regular season performance. We had that conversation with Kurt about how franchises are evaluated. I've watched some videos on, different arenas being built, and the strong thing about season ticket holders and premium seatings. It seems to me, and it seems to Damo as well, that they much rather have those superstars be around for the regular season. There's more games. They're trying to get off the concept of, hey, buy these premium seats, because that's the thing that pushes the revenue. That they want people to buy the merch. That's what pushes the revenue.